Good evening, everyone, and first and foremost, happy Veterans and Remembrance Day as we salute and remember all those who have served. But welcome to a very pivotal race in both the Division I Drivers and Constructors Championship, and it's all taking place at one of the wildest circuits on the Midwest F1 schedule. Welcome to round 14 of Season 4, and welcome to Circuit of the Americas. This 5.5 kilometer circuit features 20 corners and 2 DRS zones, but the main challenge tonight will be staying clear of those pesky track limits penalties, especially as tonight it could have serious implications on the championships. Now, Pirelli have gone with the C4 softs, C3 mediums, and C2 hards. Yep, this is my second ever Division 1 race, and it's a very, very important one at that. So these are... Granted, I'm going to say this now, disclaimer, but this is before... I have thoroughly checked over my maths, and this is before any hardest charger and fastest lap bonuses are handed out. But if Mystic Joker wins tonight, he will have to place 18th or better at Imola to claim the Division 1 Drivers' Championship. And for the Constructors' Championship, well, it's simply all to play for, as there's only a 40-point gap in between Ferrari and Alfa Romeo heading into tonight. This is going to be super, super important. I tell you what, the race that I had before at Hungary, it wasn't the most important race, but this, with only 2 rounds to go after, this is going to be a wild one. And weatherman Will Ans has told me it's going to be a dry everything, as JC Blackley joins now. But, so only 2 driver, well, I say 2 driver changes tonight, 3 actually, as it's a double swap for the McLaren garage, as both NFS Lightwork and Nicky, the former Division 1 champion, Season 1 actually, steps into the McLaren. And stepping into the Haas full-time is our boy V-Shoots Queen, who takes over for Fred after Fred taking off due to some personal reasons, and we do hope, first and foremost, that everything is all right on his front, as Fred is really one of the nicest guys that I've met. I've had the pleasure of dealing with him in the filming Grill the Grid, and he's a really, really nice dude, and hope everything's okay with him. Interesting already, lots of drivers choosing the softs over the medium tire. Going to be interesting to see how that plays out into the race and in the qualifying session as well, as we are going to get to tires later on. However, that's going to be big, as there's not much room to play with on these tire compounds that Pirelli have given us, and yeah, this one could prove very, very important. It looks like Scavney in the Williams is going to be our first driver on a timed lap, unless he lets somebody go past. As he now heads into turns 17 and 18 here. Going to be interesting to see how gutsy everybody plays it today in both the quali and the race. But as we start our unofficial track guide to the Circuit of the Americas, up the hill you go into turn 1. It's a really heavy braking zone. If you take a lot of the curb into the corner, you'll get a good line through it, down into second gear, up into third early once you pass the apex to kill off any oversteer you might have there, down through, turn 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, all representative of the Magaton Beckett's from Silverstone, so that's pretty cool. Very crucial that you get your lines through this whole Sector 1, as a matter of fact, and then through into Sector 2, 8, 9, 10, and then down into 11, all very crucial. 8, 9, 10, really, really dangerous there as far as track limits goes. But down into turn 11, really want to get a good exit here to carry that speed into the DRS section, as you're going to see now. So you're going to make this huge, huge journey down into turn 12. You're going to go all the way down into second gear, probably taking up some of the curb on entry as well, as we can see Scavney doing. Cuts off probably not as much of the apex as you'd like to. Back up into 5th, then back down to 2nd, up into 3rd quickly, as you can see, through 13, 14, 15, and then eventually 16. Really got to make sure you're up in the gears early after that to get rid of the oversteer, which we've seen Scavney just have there. It's going to be flat out through 16, 17, and then 18. Into turn 19, really won't be making more than 1 or 2 gear changes here, as you can see, to stay clear of those track limits, then through turn 20, down into second or third gear, up into the gear early, into the DRS, and that is your timed lap of the Circuit of the Americas. Scavney with a 1:33.694, and then V-Shoots Green immediately, I would say putting that one in the dust, really. He's on the mediums, and he's done it by 2.5 tenths. That's pretty ridiculous, if you ask me. That's a really solid lap. Impossible Bacon goes P3. Oh, what's happened here? Scavney, as we can see here, skidding across the track, going through turn number 6, or going into turn 6. So he's probably eaten up those tires as Helgeland goes 1:32. That is a 0.75 second of a gap between him and first place. But I gotta say, that was a massive lap from V-Shoots Queen on the medium tires. Then Mystic Joker 1:32.168. That's half a second better than Helgeland. Takes a provisional pole at the moment. This is a really, really crucial race for Mystic Joker. And that's Alfa Romeo team in general. Up the hill comes Sui. Now he's down in P4, now P5 as Nicky goes third, about 0.6 of a second behind. Next across the line, looks like it's going to be the Ferrari of... Oh, this is Murphy, and something has happened with him. He's off on the exit of turn number 6. This is where we saw... This is where we saw, I believe it was Scavney go off not that long ago. Across the line now, it looks to be the McLaren of Lightwork. Let's see what he's got. Looks to be on a solid lap so far, and Lightwork going to go provisional pole, a 1:32, nearly flat. Puts just under a tenth between him and Mystic Joker. I tell you what, that's one way to make a bang in this division. Putting a tenth between yourself and the championship leader, that's pretty solid. As a reserve, no less. Next across the line looks to be the Aston Martin of, I believe that's going to be Jinnit to win it 10 seconds back. Improves his lap time, now only 2 seconds back. P9, oh, something's happened to Helg. He's gone off. Wow, he has done it, going into the pit lane as we see V-Shoots Green come in. It looks like maybe he's just overcooked it on his way through. And he's pretty much blocked off the entry to the pit lane there. That's not what you want to see, as I believe this is Sui coming in now. No, it's going to be Mystic Joker. Helgeland's car still there. Sui coming in behind, and finally the car disappears. But that is definitely not the place you want to be going off. And half a second off the pace to pole position. That's not exactly a comfortable gap either. He's going to be hoping that people really do mess up these timed laps, as I believe Hash is going to be starting his timed lap now. Nope, he's actually invalidated, so he'll be coming around the line to no avail very shortly. Behind him looks to be the Alpha Tauri of JC Blackley. Will Ans, by the way, just went purple sector 1 as we go along with him down into turn 11 and into the long straight here as JC starts his timed lap. Behind him, it looks like the Mercedes of Scuba Steve's going to be starting a timed lap here. Let's go along with Will Ans. Looks to be on a good one so far. So while we're along with Will Ans, couple little track facts here. The track first opened on October 21st, 2012, after having what seemed to be numerous setbacks during the construction of the track, as Will Ans goes purple sector 2 at this moment in time. The track features homages to Silverstone with the Maggots and Beckett's. That is turn, 3 through 6. Supposed to be paying homage to Maggots and Beckett's, and then as well as Hockenheim's Stadium section in turns 12 through 15, as we saw Will Ans go through not that long ago. Will Ans now exiting the final corner. Ooh, lots of oversteer on exits. And he's going to go P3, I think. That has cost him a lot, that little wiggle on exit of the corner. That one has not done him that well. It's a pretty solid lap from Will Ans nonetheless, but I think he can do better as Scuba Steve heads down the straight. And now I'm looking for the Alpine of whoever this is coming through these final 2 corners. It looks to be Matt Rosie, but I think he's going to be coming in now as he's invalidated this lap. Behind him looks to be the Red Bull of, I believe it's Cake Thomas. No, it's actually going to be Young DJ. Behind him, the Alpha Tauri of JC Blackley, fresh off of a different league race, so he's nice and fresh, I guess is what you could say, out of turn 20. Gonna put him P5, not a bad lap at all. Helgeland has stayed P4 at the moment, despite being binned, as Scavney, I believe, starting another timed lap. Let's go along with him for the time being. Looks like a lot of drivers choosing to actually fit the softs rather than the mediums. Not quite sure how that's going to play out for strategy. We can get into that in a little bit, but I'm not entirely sure that is the best decision. Of course, some of these tracks, it is really the best decision to start on the medium tires and then work your way through the race on that and have the speed towards the end, but I'm not entirely sure it's the best way about here. Might not be a bad idea, but I don't know. That's the thing, though, as well, as we're going to dive into a little bit later on. This is going to be one of the trickiest tracks of the year as far as tire strategy goes, and we'll get into that in a little while. But this is going to be one of those tracks that you really see some discrepancy on tire strategy, and that, to me, as a neutral, very, very exciting. As we see, I believe that is the Ferrari of Hash 9211 starting a time lap. Let's go along with him. As I tell you what, this guy's got a lot on his shoulders coming into this final stretch of the season. We do have Imola next week, the newest track been added to the game prior to Jeddah, which is surely going to be coming out shortly. But Imola's going to be Imola's one of those tracks really tough to overtake on. This one, not really any better. Qualifying position really is going to be in the most, and Hash 9211 has got a lot of work to do. But I tell you what, he still can win this championship. I tell you what, he's looked like one of the most consistent drivers on the grid this season. Mr. Joker does have a 173-point lead as Vishutsguin goes pole, 132.048. Puts NFS Lightwork behind by 3/100ths of a second. But as I was saying, Mr. Joker's got a 173-point lead at the top of the table, which, to the naked eye, that does seem like a lot, until you realize that first position in this division gives you 100 points. Second place gives you 95, and then you can even have the fastest lap bonus, so it puts it at even hundreds there. And that brings up some further implications into the Constructors Championship as well. Ferrari, as we see here by Hash 9211, only 40 points behind Alfa Romeo for first place. As Hash comes around the final corner now, P20. Oh, looks like not P20. Turn 20. Hash 9211, 6/100ths of a second behind all of the top four, within a tenth and a half. But this is the great thing about this championship as well. Not only are there battles for the lead as well, but we got a battle for third. As what do we have here? Williams sitting in third, Alpine in fourth, 28 points back, and then Red Bull 103 points back from third, and then AlphaTauri 141. We could seriously have a whole new slate of teams there. Slate of teams there for the battle for third. Not to mention we got a battle for P7 as well. As we have Mercedes at 981, Aston Martin in 8th, 27 points back, and then Haas only 51 points back. And I tell you what, Vishutsguin could be the man to turn that around for Haas. It definitely seems like it. As we see Helgeland falling back all the way to P9 as the Aston Martin crosses the line. Next up, I believe, is going to be the Red Bull of Kate Thomas, who's coming in now. That will bring up the Aston Martin of, I believe that's going to be Jinnett, who's going to be rounding turn 19 at this moment in time. Let's see what he's got. He is on a timed lap, coming around turn 20. Up through the gears a lot earlier than most of the other drivers, taking a lot of curb as well, but puts in a really solid lap, a 131.909. That puts about a tenth and a half back to second of Vishutsguin, and then immediately Mystic Joker goes and takes provisional pole. Only 5/100ths of a second between him and second now. He has done in his lap here, invalidated track limits somewhere along that. I believe next to the line is going to be Hash, as, nope, he's going to go into the pits. Behind him looks to be, I believe that's the Williams of Scavney, who's also coming in. So behind him looks to be the Alfa Romeo of Sweep, currently P17, 1.7 seconds back. And nope, he's going to choose to come in as well. Not a lot of time left in this session. And I tell you what, this is it's not the biggest track on schedule, but it's definitely not a small one. And lots to be had in between in these last 4 minutes and 20 seconds. Lots of shuffling about to happen. that one, certainly. Gonna be close as we're along with Scuba Steve here. Currently P7, about half a second behind in that Mercedes. We'll have to see how he battles through here. Only a 10th clear of the driver he was runner-up to in last season's Division II championship of Will Ans. Will Ans currently in the pits. You'd have to believe that we're going to be seeing all 18 of the drivers that remain on track very shortly. Looks like something has happened there between a Alpha Tauri and I believe that's the Williams of Impossible Bacon behind him. This is Will Ans we're along with now. Both drivers just kind of taking it slow. No real rush to be had here. As Matt Rosio, what's happened to him? He's gone off. Has he done it going into the pit lane? Yet again, that looks to be the second driver that's happened to. And yeah, that's exactly what's happened. What could be happening that's so difficult with the pit entry to Circuit of the Americas? I'm not entirely sure. The Div 1 lads certainly, certainly giving us some interesting content here. But I will say that this is, I don't know if this is if everybody else feels the same way. I, of course, is the most bang average driver in F1 2021, as Scuba Steve goes within 4/100ths of a second of pole position of Mystic Joker. So definitely a lot of competition to be had as we see another stream of cars exiting the pits now, at least 4 other cars. As we see, though, the Williams of Impossible Bacon is going to be the next up to complete a timed lap here. Behind him, actually, his teammate of Scavney, not that far behind. He's got Will Ans behind him, and then eventually, I believe that is that's the McLaren of Nicky 64. Right behind him as well. So now we start to get into some traffic, because obviously, if you're like Impossible Bacon, who has just fit a fresh set of soft tires, you're going to want to conserve these, get the most out of it, as Scavney is going to go right on by. He's not taking any prisoners. He's not wasting any time. He wants this lap. And I tell you what, I'm not entirely sure how this is going to play out here. We got 2 minutes left in the session. He can get this one off and then start another one if he needs to. Mystic Joker now on an out lap. He's going to have to hustle back to the line. He's not got a lot of time to do so, and he's got drivers on time laps as well. This one is going to be crucial for him. Not really got a lot of time to make mistakes happen. Scavney on his time lap as he heads down the hill into turns 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. One of the hardest chains of corners in F1 2021, if I say so myself. Took me forever to even get through that. Never mind, it's actually funny, I think the rest of the track has gotten harder. That part's gotten easier since last game. But, as I said, not any sort of good driver. Not yet, at least. As I believe I am going to be taking next season off. As we see Scavney here, right to the gearbox of JC Blackley, getting that nice tow. Scuba Steve, I believe, has just retired from the session, P2 at the moment. Here's Scavney making his way into the Hockenheim complex of the track. He is going to be the first driver to complete a timed lap here, I believe, in front of him. Oh, is that Sui in front of him? No, it's Mystic Joker in front of him, who is going to be starting that timed lap. I think what's happened, I'm not entirely sure. Has Scavney let Mystic Joker go through? Because there's no way he's actually eked it out in front of him, or has he? Not sure how that's played out, but we've got 25 seconds left in the session. Mystic Joker starting his lap now. Pole position so far, but we'll have to see what he can do. Smith Pell saying he's having trouble getting back into the session. I will say Mystic Joker's car looks a lot more understeery from what I've seen on this. He is going to have this opportunity to further stretch that lead. Janet to win it is next up. He's out of the DRS section of turn 12, making his way into the Hockenheim complex right now. I believe he's going to be the next driver. Actually, I think it's going to be Sui making his way through 19 and 20 now. We'll have to see. Super Ninas and Murfinselli, P10 and P14, respectively. Sui not going to manage any better than 18th. Next to the line is the Haas of Vischutz-Guin, who goes provisional pole at a 131.784. Behind him, here comes Janet to win it to the line. Kate Thomas goes 5th. Janet to win it provisional pole by 0.2 of a second. That is a really solid lap from the Aston Martin. But now here comes Mystic Joker through 16, 17, and 18. Flat out through that section, as you can imagine. Down into 6th, into turn 19. Here he comes. It's going to be across the line. Lots of oversteer on exit, but will it be enough? And it is, by just under 1/10 of a second, a 1:31.485. That is a really solid lap, but still some competition left to be had. Here comes, well, that's not the driver I was looking for. Next up, I believe, is going to be Hash, who crossed the line P4. Behind him is going to be the McLaren of Light Work. Currently P7. What has he got? He's going to go 3rd. That is a solid lap from the reserve driver, the McLaren of Light Work. Next up behind him, I think, is going to be Impossible Bacon if he is still committed to this timed lap, which it doesn't look like he is. Young DJ, well, he's off in the grass somewhere. That I did not expect. Will Ans, yep, he's done it as well. Nicky's gone off as well. So it looks like Mystic Joker going to take provisional pole in what is so far the most important race of this campaign. Jinnit to win it, not that far behind. Lightwork and V-Shoot Queen also right there. But crucially, it's Hash 9211 in P5. He's got a lot of ground to make up in the championship, especially if Mystic Joker is going to hold these results that he's been having. And it's not going to be an easy task. So what's happened to Will Ans there? Will Ans is off in the grass. Over on exit of turn that is 14. Will Ans, I'm not sure what he's doing. He's the one that everybody's waiting for to cross the line here, taking his merry time. You can see by the helmets of Will Ans' car sporting the poppy flower as a show of the Remembrance Day in the UK, which has apparently already happened, seeing as how this is a North American league, and that's, yeah, time zones and whatnot. But Mystic Joker taking pole position, Jinnit to win it, not that far behind, less than 1/10 of a second. He takes P2, NFS Lightwork in the McLaren in reserving P3, V-Shoots Queen in 4th, Hash 9211 second in the championship in 5th, Scuba Steve in 6th, Cake Thomas 7th, 8th is Young DJ, 9th is Will Ans, 10th Super Ninas, 11th is Impossible Bacon, 12th Nikki 64, 13th Soy Loco, 14th is going to be the Ferrari of Murphinselli. That's crucial for the championship. 15th is Helgelin, 16th JC Blackley, 17th Scavney, 18th is Swede, 19th is Matt Rosie, and rounding out the field in P20, both Alpine starting in the last row of the grid, is Smith Pell. Round 14 out of 16 here in the Midwest F1 League Season 4 for Division 1. And as we start our formation lap, just another quick reminder that this edition of the Midwest F1 League is brought to you by Raise Energy. Also, be sure to check out the Slipstream podcast featuring Adaltonian as they cover all things. What's this? F1 wait. Okay, so breaking news as of right now. Formula 1, the FIA has waived the curfew for the Brazil GP after the freight was actually delayed reaching Brazil. That reminds me, we do have a real F1 race this weekend. So that's pretty interesting. But as you notice, everybody in the top 10 starting on softs, everybody outside starting on the mediums. That one is going to be interesting. As far as tire life goes, this might be one of the trickiest tracks on schedule as far as tire strategies, as a two-stopper is a very legitimate option. Now, you can go for a one-stopper from the softs to the mediums around lap 12, but this is a track that requires a lot of grip to stay competitive and mistake-free. This track will surely test the driver's abilities to conserve their tires, and only the best or most daring is going to take this win today. That kind of leaves out the fact that the hards are due for anywhere between 18 and 23 laps, but last time I was in Division 1, not Mystic Joker, El Majacco, who was co-commentating with me at the time, was telling me that a lot of these Division 1 drivers don't like going on to the hard compound. It's really not favored, and, well, I have to agree with him there. But the thing is, what would you rather have? Somewhat crappier tires that last longer? Or some pretty solid tires that turn really crappy very fast? That, I think, is going to be the big question today. Is a very, very massively important race in the Division 1 drivers and constructor standings. It's an interesting one. Alfa Romeo, their drivers P1 and P18. Ferrari, their drivers P5 and P14. As Mystic Joker and the rest of the grid starts forming up here, as I have absolutely bum camera angles, but we're going to ignore that for now. Who's got the best angle of the starting grid here? I think it's going to be... Actually, it's going to be V Shoots Queen here on this start, as the driver's forming up behind. Should be. And here we are, round 14 of the championship. The driver's ready to go. The lights, well, not quite yet coming on, as it turns out. Oh no, tell me we haven't. Matt Rosie has apparently left the session, but we do have 5 lights, and it's lights out and away we go here in Austin, Texas, Circuit of the Americas, and I think Mystic Joker got a really solid start. Here's V Shoots Queen. He's going to look to the inside of Janet to win it into turn 1. Is he going to be able to get the spot? It's nearly 3 abreast. Down to the inside goes Scuba Steve on Hash. It looks like the McLaren of Lightwork got a little bit loose on exit of the corner. There goes Scuba Steve really wide, and it looks like we have, that's Impossible Bacon. I believe that's JC Blackley off towards the back. Lots of commotion towards the rear end of the field, but it looks like for now all is well. V Shoots Queen up into P2, Lightwork to P4. Scuba Steve was doing really good, had some oversteer there. Very nearly had position as they head down into turn 11. It looks like for now everything is calmed down, but right now here comes V Shoots Queen. He's right towards the gearbox of Janet to win it, not far behind either. Scuba Steve, could he potentially want to make up some spots here? It's going to be a close one. That's a terrible camera angle, not going to use it. Now, who's going to be gutsy in the braking zones? That's going to be the key question. I feel like Mystic Joker is really good at getting these leads and then very quickly extending them. Janet to win it when he's in his groove, very capable of doing the same and staying competitive. We do have a yellow flag. No, actually, towards the back, this is Will Ans and Young DJ, side by side. Hash and Scuba Steve as well, side by side, as they go out of turn 15, that is. Still side by side. Scuba Steve having to lift there. Hash, it looked, got a little bit of oversteer at that moment in time, but for the moment has stayed clean. Holds his position, and as we finish up lap 1, it was an interesting one. Mystic Joker does set the fastest lap for now. Here we go. Here's Lightwork on the inside of V Shoots Queen, up the hill into turn 1. Who's going to get the better of it? Who's going to be more gutsy? And it looks like Lightwork's going to have the spot for now. And yeah, there goes V Shoots Queen in the Haas down to P4, and he's now got an angry Hash 9211 in, right with a big target on his back is the Haas. And oh man, it looks like he's really struggling through the S's here. Doesn't look to have any wing damage, but as you can see, he was not handling that very well. Smith Pell and JC Blackley both heading to the pits and repairing what is probably wing damage. Mystic Joker only has that gap to 0.5 of a second at this moment in time, and it's closing. Here comes Janet down to the inside. Not going to make it happen now. Joker did well to defend the position. It looks like there goes Impossible Bacon getting around Soy Loco. Oh, contact being made between the Williams and the Aston Martin. I think Soy Loco maybe just didn't get it correctly there. Very, very close indeed between these two drivers as they head down into turn 11, side by side. Soy Loco's got it. Hash 9211 and V Shoots Queen in a solid battle. Looks like V Shoots has the spot for now. Here's Super Ninas. We're along with him. Got a really great spot of this camera angle, and I think that's JC Blackley who's gone off, and it's a virtual safety car, so that's going to kill any battles that we had going. Mighty unfortunate there, as JC Blackley, who was fresh off of his other league race that's just got done, has gone and, well, he's gone and retired from the session, unfortunately. I say retired, he's properly binned it, as it turns out. Don't think Smith Pell has anything to do with that. So now it's going to be the question of who maximizes this opportunity under the virtual safety car to see who, can extend this lead the most. And it looks like Mystic Joker, he's opening that one up to about a second. I think we're going to have DRS this lap. Not entirely sure. As we're still under the VSC here. Mystic Joker keeps the lead. Behind him, what position change do we have? So nobody had any differential there all the way back to P7. Will Ans had a good start, made up 2 spots. Soy Loco's made up 3, despite a little bit of contact with Impossible Bacon there, who stayed stagnant. Started P11, still P11. The biggest loser in the opposite direction that's currently on track is Super Ninas, back in 12th, losing 2 spots. Oh, what's this here? Soy Loco and Impossible Bacon. Overtakes happening there under the VSC. Soy Loco is going to give the spot back, going to lose one to Nikki in the process. DRS now open, as you can see, both the Williams and the McLaren have. A little bit of overtaking going on here. Here's Hash 9211 and V Shoots Queen into these string of corners here. Lots of contact from Hash 9211 into the gearbox of V Shoots Queen as they snake their way through, and something has happened. That's the Aston Martin of Soy Loco that's gone off back there on exit of turn 12. Maybe just a little bit of oversteer potentially. Not really sure what's happened. Not to mention now, also in this battle for P4, Will Ans wants into the mix. Not that far behind is Scuba Steve and Cake Thomas. Young DJ also clawing his way closer. Really solid battles here early on. I do hope that the incoming pit strategies won't kill off any of this action. V Shoots Green really doing his best to extend the track there. There goes Hash 9211 really up close to the back of V Shoots. Almost was trying to look to the inside. Didn't really get it much to happen. Oh, and it looks like has that Soy Loco gone off. Span it round on exit of turn 20. Yes, he has. Irrelevant detail for now as they make their way through Sector 1 and back up the hill. Hash 9211, despite making contact a couple of times with the Haas, is being fairly patient, I'd say. I think we were seeing that contact just because he knows that he has to get these positions off fast. Hash 9211 being a really consistent driver, despite I don't think has won a race so far this season, but is good enough to be in P2 as he's going to have the DRS go around the left side of the Haas, and he's going to take P4, although V-Shoot's not that far behind as well. Janet to win it, still within 0.7 of a second on Mystic Joker. I think at the moment that's a pretty comfortable gap if you are the Alfa Romeo. I think Janet probably could get him, but it's going to take a mistake from Mystic. And oh, there goes Cake Thomas falling down the order. Something as we have an angle with Matt Rosie. Oh, and it looks like that's a very strange spot to be getting oversteered. That part's for sure. That's on exit of turn 14. As Janet to win it sets the fastest lap. Can we see what's actually happened? So he's just span it round, made contact with the barrier on the outside, as Super Ninas now picks up 5 seconds for a severe collision with Swee. Swee and Scavney making contact there as well. Something is happening. What is exactly going on? Drivers making contact left and right. Swee really got into the back of Scavney there. Here comes Will Ans trying to find his way around the left side of V-Shoots. Chose to back out wisely from that overtake attempt. Going into turn number 4, I think that was. Done it well, doesn't need to be too aggressive. Scuba Steve not that far behind. This is a rivalry, these two drivers, that has spanned from last season on. And I tell you what, I haven't been around Div 1 long enough to see these two battle it out, but I think we're going to get a good one here for 6th position. Scuba Steve definitely going to have the DRS here. Young DJ does seem to be starting to fall back. Something has happened again. That's Scavney falling off again. Looks like he was almost being held up there somehow. Here comes Scuba Steve trying to get down the inside of Will Ans. Will Ans almost making contact with the back of the Haas. Had to pull to the right to avoid the back tire of the Haas. And Scuba Steve's going to get that position for free. And Will Ans suddenly now seems to be at the disadvantage. I think Will Ans was in a bad spot to begin with. Then had to brake really hard to get out of the way and not make contact with the Haas as Scuba Steve played that, I will say, rather brilliantly. He did all the right things there in making that overtake happen, made sure there was a car in front of Will Ans to hold him up. Scuba Steve surely picking up a warning there. Up the hill into turn 1 they go for lap number 6. Janet to win it is edging ever so closer to the Alfa Romeo of Mystic Joker, but this is the thing. This is the crucial part here. Murph and Selly and Swee very close together. I feel like this Constructors Championship is going to be won between Murph and Selly and Swee. I think as the Drivers' Championship, it's really going to be on how aggressively Hash plays this and if he can find his way up into the most favored positions. But I think it's definitely going to come down to those 2 second drivers, Murph and Selly and Swee. A lot of it rides on them. Will Ans here is still to the back of Scuba Steve as they head down the hill and into turn 11. We are going to go back with Jinnit to win it, as he's going to have the DRS. Super Nino's picking up a 3-second time penalty. That puts him up to 8. Here comes Jinnit to win it, looking around the left side, and he's going to get that position with ease. Mystic Joker doesn't need to really panic yet. He's got about 2.5 seconds back to P3 of NFS Lightwork, who, by the way, has held that position very, very well. But for now, Jinnit has taken the lead here. V-Shoot's still trying his best to work to the back of Hash 9211, starting to slip away from him a little bit. But this battle here between Will Ans and Scuba Steve, this is ever so going. And Scuba Steve, he's hungry. You can see him. He's looking to try to make these overtakes as much as he can. I'm not entirely sure where Mystic Joker is starting to lose his time, because that gap is now back to 0.7 of a second. I'm assuming it's somewhere in Sector 3, because it looks like for the first 2 sectors of the track, Mystic has him completely matched, if not better than Jin. Just somewhere, Jinnit is finding the pace that Mystic Joker is not. As it looks like Scuba Steve's going to go around the left side of V-Shoot's Queen. He's got Will Ans in pursuit as well. We'll have to see what Will Ans can do. Can he find the left side around the Haas as well? I don't think he's going to be able to. Chooses not to make the move now. Mystic Joker within half a second. Oh, we've got a Haas that's gone off. That's Super Nina's back there in P15 on exit of turn 19. Maybe he's hit the curb too much. There goes the mistake that from Jinnit to win it. Looked like he had oversteer on exit of turn number 10. It's either 9 or 10. Something has happened with Jinnit. He's lost a lot of ground, and now Mystic Joker, I think, is going to get this spot back. He's going to have the DRS, and he's at the beginning of the zone as well, taking up all the slipstream he can, goes to the left side, and Mystic Joker is going to take the lead back for now, it seems. Still, though, Jinnit to win it, not that far behind at all. And I tell you what, he's got bags of pace today. Here comes Will Ans down the inside of the Haas of V-Shoot's Queen. I tell you what, he's not had the best start to the race, the Haas. Not gone bad. Here he goes, back down to the inside, going to really cut the corner, and that goes a 3-second time penalty for the Haas of V-Shoot's Queen. As soon as I said he wasn't having a bad day, it goes from bad to worse. Well, it goes from okay to worse, certainly. I do think it was a good idea to bring up V-Shoots from the divisions, though. Put him into the Div 1C. He has been showing his pace very rapidly. It feels like only a couple weeks ago we were seeing him making moves in Divs 4 and then, or Div 5 and then Div 4. Oh, and there goes Jinnit. He's going to completely take the bollard with him, and he's going to pick up a 3-second time penalty in the process. Well, he's just taken a construction cone with him. Gone to Coney Island, as my father would say, and, well, he's got a 3-second penalty now. But now here comes the crucial bit. Now Jinnit to win it needs to stay outside of his own head, because I tell you what, he's still in contention for a podium. He's definitely got the pace to do so. Whether he keeps his head cool or not, that's going to be up to him. Meanwhile, Will Ans still looking to the back of Scuba Steve. Hash 9211, I tell you what, now this is a dangerous thing. Scuba Steve, there he goes, picking up 3 seconds of time penalty. That's an interesting one. I'm not quite sure where that's happened, as Jinnit to win it looked to the outside of Mystic Joker. Wasn't anything there for him. Still a solid battle for the lead here, but I tell you what, Will Ans doing his best to still try to get to the back of Scuba Steve. But as we were saying, Hash 9211 not really making up any time to that P3 of NFS Lightwork. I tell you what, he stayed at about 4 seconds for the past, 3, 4, maybe 5 laps, it seems. But here comes Jinnit to win it. He's within half a second on our leader, Mystic Joker. I will say these softs are starting to get to the end of their tire lives. Expect the pit window to start anywhere between now and lap 12. Jinnit to win it, it seems, slowly starting to, I don't want to say fall off, that gap is starting to grow a little bit. V-Shoot's Queen in the Haas, he's come off and he's gone down to P12, choosing to take his stop now. Maybe the undercut's going to be a good solution, however, he's boxed way too early, and I think that's going to make this a two-stopper for the Haas. And I'm not entirely sure that any of these other drivers are going to want to commit to a two-stopper. But Vichy's going to choose, I guess, the comfortable routes, I suppose. He's taking a route that's not really going to pressure him on any tires, but it's really a risk versus reward type situation. Helgeland comes back from the dead up to P10. Up 5 spots since the beginning of the race. Not bad from him. He's got Nicky 64 and Impossible Bacon in his sights. Looks like Nicky was trying to make a move there on Impossible Bacon. Ran out of straight to do it. Scuba Steve. Oh, it looks like Will Ans has gotten around Scuba Steve. That's nicely done there. Seem to have missed it, unfortunately. I hate when I do that, when we've got good battles going on and there's so much action, you kind of just have to miss something, and apparently that time it was the battle between Will Ans and Scuba Steve. Now, NFS Lightwork comes in now. So he's going to be another one of those drivers, I think, is going to be on the 2-stop strategy. Young DJ also comes in the Red Bull. Murphinselli picks up 3 seconds for time penalties there. Hash 9211 moves up to P3, although he's about 8 seconds behind. Not to mention Will Ans and Scuba Steve really within striking distance of Hash here. Jinnit to win it, still holding it within about 0.8 of a second on Mystic Joker these past couple laps. Oh, something has happened there. Have we seen a Ferrari or maybe a Alfa Romeo go off? Not entirely sure. I saw yellow flags in that section. Logic brought me to those two, as that's where they were. Helgeland really tried looking for the line on the inside to Nicky there. Didn't really make a valiant attempt there, as that would have proved dangerous into that corner. Smith-Pell picking up 3 seconds of time penalty. It looks like Will Ans down to the inside on Hash 9211 going into turn 11. Was that turn 11? No, that's turn 12. Sorry, apologies for that. Into turn 12. Hash 9211 still close behind. It looks like Impossible Bacon went round the outside on Nicky 64. Perhaps Nicky had oversteer or something on the exit of that corner. That's an interesting spot to be taken round the outside of, that's for sure. Jinnit to win it still within about 0.8 of a second on Mystic Joker. I will say, though, after this pit window happens, I don't think right now Jinnit's in any danger with that 3-second time penalty. However, once the pit window happens, it's come and gone. That is going to mean a lot. Scuba Steve, he's going to come in now, so he's going to really have to stretch the mediums if he wants a one-stop strategy. That one's going to be severely uncomfortable for him. Here comes Helgeland, looking to the inside on the McLaren of Nicky 64. Don't think it's going to happen. Impossible Bacon does have these two drivers in his rearview mirror. And I will say they're getting fairly closer as well. Here's Hash 9211 within about half a second on Will Ans here. I will say, I expected Hash 9211 to be up a little bit more. I expected him to be right up there with Mystic, and as it turns out, he's down there in P4. Not a bad place to be, but that's going to give him even more work. I'm not entirely sure it's going to give him even more work. It's going to lighten the load for Mystic Joker. As it looks like Jinnit's going to get around him this side on the inside into turn 12. Nicely done there from Jinnit. Unfortunately, yet again, I miss a really good battle. And that goes a Haas. That's off going into turn 19. I'm assuming that's Super Nunes back there in P18. Not what you want to see, but I think this is the key here for Mystic Joker. He's really just got to let this ride between him and Jinnit. Jinnit's got that 3-second time penalty. That's going to prove really dangerous to him. Man, Mystic Joker seemed to take that little section of corners so much better than Jinnit. Jinnit was really out wide, probably had to lift a lot, and now both the drivers coming into the pits. We'll have to see what happens here. Will Ans, I think, is going to inherit the lead unless he chooses to come in. And yeah, it looks like Will Ans is going to stay out. Hash 9211 coming in as well. Mystic Joker's come in. Jinnit to win, it's on his way out. He's going to find his way past the Alfa Romeo of Mystic Joker. Impossible Bacon's going to move up to P2. Lightwork sets the fastest lap on the mediums with a 135 something or another. Helgeland still right to the back of Nicky 64. Within 0.2 of a second, meanwhile, here's Lightwork. Somehow has wedged himself in between the Aston Martin and the Alfa Romeo. This could potentially be the battle for the lead between these two drivers. That is for sure. As at the moment, Jinnit's got that advantage. Lightwork still in close behind. There goes Helgeland down to the inside on Nicky 64, Season 1 champion. Is he going to make the move stick? And I think he will. Scuba Steve does pick up 3 seconds of time penalty. That puts him, I believe, at 6 seconds. Yep, yes it does. 6 seconds of penalty so far for Scuba Steve. Nicky 64 really to the inside. Is it going to be 3 wide into turn 12? Yes, it is. It's a F1 car sandwich. You got Jinnit on the outside. That's the McLaren, or the Mercedes rather, of Helgeland in the middle, and then Nicky, who got in there, I think is getting bumped out of the way by his teammate of Lightwork. Man, 3 wide down into turn 12. That one was dangerously close, and if your name was Jinnit to win it, I think honestly you've gotten away lucky there, because those 2 cars. The Mercedes of Helgeland and the McLaren of, I believe that was, well, I forgot which McLaren it was now, but one of the McLarens was really making contact with the Mercedes. That could have proved deadly very fast. Mystic Joker down to P6, has a lot of work to do. Then again, some of these drivers still have yet to pit. There goes Jinnit to win it around the, I believe that was the outside of Impossible Bacon, making that overtake stick. Helgeland overtakes the McLaren of Lightwork. Heading down the hill through turn 2. This is an excellent race so far from the Div 1 boys. Mystic Joker wants in on this battle as well, but you have to remember he's going to have to stay penalty-free, penalty and mistake-free through this section of the track. Here comes Mystic Joker. He's not going to try 2-1, is he? No, he's not, but it looks like he's going to take the outside, then switch back to the inside. He's got these two battling in front of him. Will Ans has a 4-second gap, but closing on Jinnit to win it. There goes Lightwork down the inside. There goes Mystic Joker. Is he going to make that happen? He's got the 2 cars to his outside. And I think Mystic Joker has just pulled off a double overtake. That's ridiculous. Unbelievable stuff here, but here comes Lightwork down to the inside. Helgeland looks to have been left in the dust somehow. I hope there wasn't contact made between them. Maybe he just kind of ran out of track, chose to back out of it. Here's Lightwork and the McLaren, side by side with the championship leader. Hopefully no contact being made there, although it looks like there was. A little bit of lag on Lightwork's point of view there. Jinnit to win it now, setting the fastest lap, but Mystic Joker is going to hold that spot for now. He does have the McLaren in hot pursuit. Here comes the McLaren. He's going to look to the inside, then switch back to the outside. Up the hill they go. It's going to be who outbreaks who. And Mystic Joker is going to come away with it for now, and I think he's got him at least for this next section of the track. No, there goes Lightwork down to the inside. He's not going to make this overtake happen through here, is he? And he's going to force Mystic Joker to get that 3-second time penalty. The right thing to do was give Lightwork the room, and Mystic Joker did it, suffered a 3-second time penalty because of it. And now that's just thrown an absolute wrench into the plans of the Alfa Romeo. That's going to make it really a race for the win between himself and Jinnit to win it. And that one is a battle I'm definitely going to watch. Scuba Steve, 3 more seconds of time penalties. That puts him up to 9 seconds. V-Shoots Queen leaving the session, probably just lagging out there. Here comes Lightwork down to the inside. I will say Lightwork has really got the championship leader on his toes here, side by side with the Alfa Romeo. Really impressed with him so far. Jinnit to win it. Looks like he's gotten around Will Ans for the lead here, but this is a really crucial battle. Will Ans still needs to pit. Jinnit to win it doesn't. And it looks like for now, this is probably the most important battle in the field here between Lightwork and Mystic Joker. He's got Bacon in front of him, who Impossible Bacon looks to have starting to fall off a little bit, although he does seem to have... has he started on these mediums? Yeah, so Impossible Bacon has started on this medium compound, starting to fall off. Here comes Mystic Joker. He's going to be looking to the inside of Impossible Bacon. That's probably the safest route to go. He's got the rights to the corner, and he's going to have it. Impossible Bacon getting overtaken by Lightwork as well. Lightwork went to the inside, sent it, and got past Mystic Joker for now. Unbelievable racing. They're going to go through the yeses. Lightwork's going to give Joker all the room he needs. Somehow Lightwork hasn't picked up time penalties. There goes Will Ans with a penalty of his own. Lightwork really just said no half sends in Div 1. Reserves for McLaren, who, by the way, are stone dead last in the Constructors Championship. comes up and says no half cents, and makes an absolutely brilliant double overtake for now. But here comes Mystic Joker back down to the inside, and I think he's going to have it now. Looks like that's Helgelin holding off Nikki 64 for now. Hash 9211, something has happened with him. He's back down there in P10. No wing damage for the Ferrari there, but he is really far back. Has he just gone and stopped? And yeah, that's exactly what happened. Hash has stopped down in P10. We do have a virtual safety car on track. There's V-Shoot's Queen coming back into the session really right there. So Will Ann's and Impossible Bacon, the only two drivers within the top 5 yet to stop. This isn't the longest pit lane in the world, but it's not a comfortable one, that's for sure, and I think both Will Ann's and Impossible Bacon coming in now. Yeah, that's pretty much what we expected. Mystic Joker now has just about a 3-second gap back to Jinnit to win it. Lightwork, he's in this as well. Jinnit to win it, it's about a 5.5-second gap at the moment. Mystic Joker really fast in his own right. The thing is, though, Lightwork has been giving him an absolute mess. He's really, honestly, it's so impressive. The qualifying result was impressive, for one thing. But as we saw with V-Shoots, it was kind of one of those things. You either sink or you swim, and Lightwork, boy, he's swimming. We are past the halfway point in this race. And let me tell you, it's been a really exciting one so far. Here comes Lightwork again to the right side of Mystic Joker. These two have been battling it out. Meanwhile, Jinnit to win it is really starting to be in a race of his own, really. It's the Haas of Lightwork behind him. Still got some time. If we look at the gap back to the leader, it's not choosing to work, so that's fine. Meanwhile, Mystic Joker's still right there as well. I mean, this is becoming an absolute task for Mystic Joker. Lightwork has the position so far. Can Lightwork be the one to spoil Jinnit to win its day? I tell you what, Lightwork really seems to have the pace going for him. But Mystic Joker, he wants this spot. That part is for sure. Hash 9211 back there in P7. Shall we do some quick maths? I think we should. Get some live championship statistics going. Hash 9211 had 10:45 coming into this event, currently P7. I don't think anyone above him needs to pit. P7, that'll only earn him 72 points. Mystic Joker came into this 12:18, currently second. He's got second at the moment, so that's worth 95. So at the moment, it is a 196-point gap from Mystic Joker to Hash 9211. It's not going to help him out. Nikki 64 with the fastest lap, a 134.9. Not even close to the lap record for the track. I'm assuming that was on last game. because whoever has the Div 1 lap record is blowing it out of the water. Mystic Joker now has a, well, about 6-second gap back to Jinnit to win it. And Lightwork's going to go around the left side again. Side by side between these two. Mystic Joker, I will say, has been extending the track as much as he can. Still side by side. You can see how close it is. You can barely fit a piece of paper between these two. Lightwork's out here to make a statement. Mystic Joker's out here to win a championship. So now as Mystic Joker's back down... Oh, what's this here? We got an Alpine that's gone off. As Mystic Joker's down to 3rd, and Hash 9211 up to 6th. Back up to 2nd for Mystic Joker. It's Impossible Bacon. He picks up 3 seconds of time penalty. So if Mystic Joker was to finish 3rd and Hash 9211 to finish 6th, that gap would be cut down to 187. Disregarding fastest laps and hardest charger, because frankly neither of them have it at this moment in time. Jinnit to win it, meanwhile, in a league of his own. 3 seconds of time penalty. He's got a 6.5-second gap back to Mystic Joker, who has been fighting off this guy named NFS Lightwork the entire race, as it seems. He's going to take the spot yet again. Seems like Lightwork's got the position through Sector 1, and then Joker takes it back through the DRS straight on the DRS section on the pit straight. If somehow Joker can learn how to beat that little chain... what's the term? That little pattern that's been going on. Maybe if Joker can hold him behind, take the DRS, because I'm assuming it's going to be a lot harder to overtake going down the pit straight than it will be going down the long straight down to turn 12. I think maybe what Joker has to do here is just hang back, then take him over, overtake him after turn 11, that second DRS zone. That'll put Lightwork at the disadvantage, as V-Shoot's Queen's going to set the fastest lap for 125.002. Tell me I read that right. Surely that's not allowed. We have an Alpine off. That looks like Smith Pell, who's going to be getting in the way of some actual people racing here. That's not necessarily what you need, and he's going to spin the car around again. Right in front of a couple drivers as well. I think Mystic Joker, without actually hearing me, has taken my advice, as he's going to make his move now. He's going to have the DRS. Moving down the straight. He's going to go to the left, and he's going to have it before the braking zone. Nicely done there for Mystic Joker. Now, if this pattern is to continue, that's going to put Lightwork at the disadvantage. Although Lightwork's still working to the outside. It's side by side for second place. Even though Lightwork's probably going to have the spot anyways, because of the time penalty to Mystic Joker, unless Lightwork picks up a time penalty himself. Mystic Joker, or Lightwork, or both, have 8 laps to make up a 7-second difference between himself and Mystic and Jinnit to win at the leader. Imagine if a safety car came out. That'd be ridiculous. Down the pit straight they go. Lightwork not going to have the position yet, although he is going to look to the inside. Side by side again. Mystic Joker is going to have the inside this time. That's going to be the preferred line as they head through the S's here. Somehow Lightwork hasn't picked up a penalty. Mystic Joker is going to hold the spot for now, but it's still side by side. Going to be looking back up the hill. And I tell you what, for the most part, I haven't seen anything to tell me otherwise, that this is some clean racing between these two drivers. Mystic Joker slams on the brakes to lose the spot before the detection zone. 200 IQ plays from Mystic Joker, although it didn't quite pan out. But that was genius. tell me I'm not the only one who saw that. Mystic Joker deliberately slammed on the brakes to let Lightwork have the spot going into the detection zone. Side by side still. How far back is Scuba Steve from this? He's a fair way away, actually. Still side by side. Totally really ignoring what else is happening through the field. Here we got Nicky64 looking to make a move on Will Ans, but it's really the battle between these two. Oh, Lightwork. Something has happened here as soon as I take my camera off of him. Looks like he's had oversteer on exit of turn 15, that is. Because now that's suddenly a decently large gap between these two. Mystic Joker up the hill and into turn 1. That gap now appears to be about 10 seconds. Jinnit to win it did exactly what I hoped he'd do. He got the 3-second penalty, but then kept it clean enough to where it's not going to matter unless he makes another mistake. He's got to be really feeling the pressure, though, at this point. Oh, the yellow flag over there going through the S's. It looks like something has happened between Impossible Bacon and Scuba Steve. There's Impossible Bacon. He's going to look to be getting around Ash here very shortly. Now about a 7/10 of a second gap between Mystic Joker and Lightwork. However, that's not comfortable if your name is Mystic Joker. Soy Loco now picking up 3 seconds of time penalty. Very little time left. There goes Lightwork down to the inside. Gonna take the position for now, but Joker's gonna go, and he's gonna cut back to the inside, and is he gonna take the position? You can see Lightwork really starting to make up a couple mistakes, and then Mystic Joker with a 3-second time penalty that puts him at 6. That has hung the door wide open for Jinnit to win it and Lightwork. Scuba Steve getting past Impossible Bacon, however, it almost appears that Impossible Bacon might just have this. Impossible Bacon might be getting on podium here very shortly. He's got Scuba Steve to his outside. Scuba Steve's got 12 seconds of penalties. There goes Hash 9211. If you're Scuba Steve right now, you can't really afford to be getting in Hash's way. Can we look at the gap back to the leader? Lightwork and Joker still in a ridiculously close battle. Jinnit to win it still has yet to make any sort of slip-up. Lightwork at this moment in time has at least second place in the bag unless Jinnit makes up some sort of error and Lightwork can make up 4 seconds. Impossible Bacon is 10 seconds behind. Scuba Steve back there in 5th. Hash 9211 really isn't going to gain a lot. I think he's gonna go up to P4. It's gonna be Mystic Joker in 3rd. And it's gonna be Hash 9211 in 4th, if this result stands. Here comes Lightwork down to the inside yet again. Still side by side. Joker's gonna have it for now. Still side by side between these two. From an outsider's point of view, I mean, can we just check the statistics right now? I mean, this is really the first time, at least in my eyes, that I've seen Mystic Joker look really vulnerable. He's won the last two. He won Monza. He won Portimao. He did have somewhat of a mid-season slump from Japan all the way to Baku. Did have somewhat of a slump there. That's about a 4-week slump there. Mystic Joker, he should be coming in hot. End of the last two. I mean, this is going to leave the door wide open for Hash in the Drivers' Championship. Not to mention Murphinselli and Sui back there, secretly battling it out for 11th. At the moment, the Ferrari's got the better of him at that point. I don't think any movement's going to happen in the Constructors as far as those two go, as Sui goes down to the inside, it seems, on Murphinselli. No, I was right about that without even looking. So Sui gets the spot for now. Sui then picks up 3-second time penalty. Side by side between the McLaren and the Alfa Romeo. Jinnit to win it, if this result holds. Light work again down to the inside. If the result holds, this will be the 4th win of the year for Jinnit to win it. Solid stuff from him. Currently P4 in the Drivers' Championship. He will definitely overtake Kate Thomas. Soy Loco has just retired from the session. Don't tell me we're going to have a safety car. Good God Almighty, if we have a full safety car on track, I might just die. I don't think it's not happened yet. Please tell me that we're not going to have a safety car. That'll throw everything out the window. I think he's far enough off track to where it's not going to matter. Good God Almighty. I think if your name is Jinnit to win it, your heart rate probably just went up by about a solid 25 to 30 right there. But not what the Aston Martin team needed, that's for sure. They were in that battle for 7th as well. So it looks like Mercedes is going to win that battle for the day so far. Alpine, they've definitely not had the day they wanted. They're certainly going to lose out to Red Bull there, I think. Yeah, most likely. Maybe not. Young DJ's the only Red Bull driver classified. Those two drivers, as NFS Lightwork now picks up 3 seconds for multiple warnings. Those two drivers were ghosted there for a second. Maybe Lightwork went to AI or something. Maybe, has he not lagged out from the session? I sure hope not. Impossible Bacon, 7 seconds behind. He's got a time penalty of his own. Mr. Joker, he's at 6 seconds. Lightwork, he's at 3. Joker's going to have to keep it outside of 3 seconds, the gap between these two, if he wants second place. That is going to be a task. Lightwork having a little bit of a mistake there. Going up the hill into Sector 2. Looked like he had a little bit of oversteer there. Jinnit to win it all by himself. Going down the straight, we have an incident over there. That looks like the Haas of Super DNS who has gone off. Thankfully not in the way of anybody. That would have been absolutely devastating. Lightwork, is he going to be able to catch up to Joker here? It's going to be close. He's got it down the inside for now. Super Ninus has gone off once more. Thankfully, again, not in anybody's way. Still side by side between these two. Mystic Joker. Again, he's going to have to make up 3 seconds of gap here. He's going to have Lightwork make a penalty. Oh, and Lightwork's got mega oversteer there, almost collecting Joker in the process. That one was close. Still side by side, heading into turn 19. Jinnit to win it. He's got 2 laps to go. Mystic Joker right here along with Lightwork. As Will Ann's going to pick up 3 seconds of time penalty. That puts him up to 6. He's got Hash 9211 in hot pursuit. It looks like Hash, is he going to take this spot right here? Nicely done there from Hash. That puts him up to P6. Will Ann's going to try to take it right back. But Hash going to go down to the inside. He's going to, I think he's going to have the position either way. Mystic Joker starting to lose ground on Lightwork. Elgelin also wants in on this battle. Hash 9211 is going to come away really well from this. I think he's going to go probably at least P4. We have a yellow flag. That's the Alpine of Smith Pell once again, I believe that is. Mystic Joker. He wants the spot. Down to the inside. He's got him by a fair margin that time into the braking zone. Lightwork, small lock up there. We have a Haas that's gone off. I think it's Super Ninus on the outside. Side by side. Once again. I really hope this doesn't end in some sort of catastrophic, ridiculous steward report that we'd have to fill out between these two drivers. It's been excellent racing so far. Don't want any sort of heinous act to determine who gets the position. Because let me tell you, this has been an absolute banger of a race so far as Janet to Win It starts his final lap of the Circuit of the Americas. The Hash 9211 down to P7. After time penalties are applied, at the moment, he's got P4. No, he's got P5, rather. Impossible Bacon's got a 6-second gap back on Scuba Steve. I know that's back on light work. It's only about... As Janet to Win It with 3 seconds of time penalty. I don't think it's much going to matter unless Janet makes a mistake here. It's a 15-second gap between himself and Mystic Joker. Joker running out of time here. Well, hang on here. What do we see with this? Impossible Bacon, not that far behind. Could Impossible Bacon take this spot? 6.2 seconds, the time. Well, never mind, he's got 3 seconds of time penalty. I made that really way more important than it probably had to be. Light work down to the inside, Joker on the outside. The Joker's got that spot for now. Man, I really thought there for a second Impossible Bacon didn't have a time penalty, but here comes Janet to Win It, rounding turn 20. He's had an absolutely dominant day ever since he came in for a stop, and the Aston Martin driver of Janet to Win It picks up his 4th race win of the season. Mystic Joker and NFS Lightwork have put on an absolutely amazing battle that I think both of these drivers are going to remember. As Joker comes across the line, he's going to take credit for 3rd. Lightwork takes 2nd. Impossible Bacon's going to round the final corner. He's going to come home 4th. Scuba Steve's got 15 seconds of penalty. He's going to take 5th for now. Hash is going to move up to P5. And he's going to take that spot. So while we have a second, let's do some quick maths. Mystic Joker comes in 3rd. Mystic Joker comes 3rd, so he goes 90 points. He's at 13:08. Hash 9211. 10:45. He comes home 5th. That's plus 80. It's 11:25. So what is the gap? $13.08. 13:08 minus 11:25. It is a 183-point gap from 1st to 2nd. Janet to Win It taking the win. An absolutely dominant day. Lightwork coming in 2nd. Mystic Joker coming in 3rd. Helgelin picking up the driver of the day. Probably earned the points for hardest charger. It was an absolutely dominant day from Janet to Win It. Did really well to get himself in the position to win. Mystic Joker and Lightwork gave us the battle of the year. As the final results, I was texting in the Discord. I'm going to completely miss them. I might be a bum sometimes. But let's get to those interviews right now. Okay, I'm here with our Podium 3 Mystic Joker, NFS Lightwork, and Jinnit to win it. Joker, I'm going to start with you. There was a lot of pressure on your shoulders coming into this race, as Hash 9211 I think has been one of the most consistent drivers of this year, but I will let you know your gap to him currently in the championship to 183 heading into next week, so I'm pretty sure as long as you finish the race next week, you'll have the championship wrapped up. But coming into this race, I mean, there was a lot to it. This track, really, really difficult. Take me through your day today.
Yeah, quali felt like a decent lap in the second half of the lap. I actually didn't improve Sector 1. Sector 2 was a little bit better, and then I gained all of my time in Sector 3. But I was kind of surprised that I ended up getting pole, but yeah, I got that. I got an okay-ish start, but then, I don't know, I couldn't get into the right rhythm to break away at the start, and then, you know, Jinnit was following right behind me. I wasn't battling too hard. I didn't want to, you know, have any craziness happen early on or whatever that would mess up both of our races. There was just no point to it. I do wish I would have fought a little bit harder on the lap that we pitted to maybe try to stay ahead, because that right there was that was the biggest thing in the race. Because Lightwork was pitted a couple laps sooner, and he was already out on track, and then I came out right behind him. But Lightwork and I ended up getting stuck behind some of the guys that hadn't pitted yet. And then from there, yeah, it was just, once Jinnit was able to get clear those cars, him and I, Lightwork, we just got stuck with each other pretty much once we got past those other cars. And yeah, that was one of the craziest battles that I've had, for sure.
I tell you what, that was really, really exciting to watch. It was almost like I couldn't really take my screen off of you two guys. It was every single lap, pretty much the whole race. I did want to ask that, as regarding to strategy, there wasn't a lot of wiggle room to be had today. Do you think that's what maybe let you down in the end?
Yeah, a bit. I mean, I could have pitted a lap sooner, and yeah, which I did think about, especially after I seen, because Lightwork pitted a couple laps before us, and I thought about maybe covering him the following lap, but I just kind of decided to stick with the game plan and come in a couple laps afterward. But yeah, I mean, that's really the only thing that I can think of as far as the strategy goes. But well, I mean, congratulations to Jinnit, you know, getting the win and one hell of a race with Lightwork.
No, it was really good, and so next week we go to Imola, and then, well, that's the only remaining track that we can have any sort of practice time on, as hopefully by December 2nd, Jet has been added to the schedule, so we'll keep it for Imola for now. How do you think you'll do heading into next week?
Good. I mean, I've only done one actual league race there, and wasn't that far. Wasn't that far off of like the pace where I wanted to be at. So definitely gotta improve the setup there a little bit, get a little bit more confidence for the race pace. But yeah, it should be fun. I mean, my main focus sure is the Drivers Championship. I mean, but you know, as I've been saying to Crash and Jacko the past couple weeks, that my focus has been on the constructors. You know, I really want to get it, but difficult, man. Those Ferraris, they're scoring some consistent points.
Yeah, absolutely, and I tell you what, in your favor, at least, it was a very close racing there for quite a little while between Sui and Murph and Selly. I think, as I said earlier, I think it is going to really come down to how those two fare. But for now, I think Alfa Romeo, your team still do have the advantage, and you got a pretty comfortable gap heading into next week. Congratulations on your podium. Very nicely done. Now, Lightwork, on to you. Man, I tell you what, it's always the thing that when drivers come up and they reserve into Div 1 for what, this is the first time, right? I'm not wrong about that?
Yeah, this is the first Div 1 time.
It's always the thing when you get up to Div 1. It's the pinnacle of the league. The drivers, they either sink or they swim, and you, sir, definitely swam today. That was one hell of a race to watch. Take me through your emotions that whole time. That must have been absolutely ridiculous from your point of view.
Yeah, it was, I mean, quali was really good, I think. Lap was good. I just I almost spun actually on my last lap, but I mean overall it was a good lap. And then just wanted to maintain the gap in third after we kind of got the start going. And I wanted to go for an undercut initially from like lap 3, as long as I stayed within a good range, and that was pretty much it. I mean, honestly, it was when I pitted, I was so surprised they stayed out an extra lap because I thought they were going to cover me, but I got Joker, and like he said, we got some traffic ahead, and we just kind of found our way through, and just after that, it was just side by side for what 15, 16 laps. I wasn't expecting to be that long. It was like he was so much quicker than me in the third sector, and then I was a lot quicker in the first sector. So like each time we'd bounce it out, and then we'd get DRS on each straight and switch each lap. So it was a wild race.
Yeah, no, and that's I was thinking that myself. I noticed that pattern going for a little bit, and I was like, maybe if Joker can break this pattern, it'll be a different game. But I tell you what, you held on very nicely. Now, to your point about overtaking and being in traffic, we're headed to Imola next week. Not really a track you can do much of that on. It's going to be a tough one, but how do you think you're going to do?
Yeah, Imola is definitely a lot tighter than US, so I don't expect much side by side, but it's a track that I'm decent at, but I really enjoy that track for quality laps and race pace, so it's I'm looking forward to it for sure.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations on your second place finish. Well deserved, and hopefully we see you back up here again in the top division really soon. Jinnet to win it, man. Your 4th win of the season, and you've moved up to 3rd in the constructors as well. Hash 9211, not that far out of sight either. Really good race for you today. Where do you think that separated from you from the rest?
It was overtaking Mystic before the pit stops. That was, and coming out and getting that double overtake on the back straight. Without that, I wouldn't have won the race. I probably would have been in that battle with those two.
You know, yeah, continue. I'm sorry about that.
No, go on, carry on. You can give on spot. I was just mumbling.
I'm just saying, so COTA's one of those tracks that the mistakes can sometimes pile on, and you had that time penalty really early, I wouldn't say early on, but you did really well to keep it really tight and consistent throughout the rest of the race. I mean, how much more pressure did that add to you throughout today?
I did a lot, really, because I had 2 more warnings not long after I had my 3 seconds, so I reckon if I'd have got another penalty not long after, then they probably would have mounted up, and could have been detrimental.
Well, we saw your Aston Martin teammate crash out there towards the end. I tell you what, probably. Yeah, it made my heart rate jump up a little bit. I was like, please tell me we're not going to have a game-changing safety car here toward the end, but thankfully it wasn't. Safety cars, though, probably a lot of them next week at Imola. How do you think you're going to do?
I'm just going to take it as the race comes, like I did today. And it worked out nice.
Absolutely.
Don't go in there with high expectations. If you practice too much, you've got a bigger step to fall off then. If you know what I mean. Yeah,
no, I got you. It makes sense. Well, congratulations to you three. It was an absolutely brilliant spectacle today. Definitely blew my expectations out of the water. I know Div 1's the pinnacle, but USA, one of those more difficult tracks on the schedule, and you guys really delivered today. Absolutely brilliantly done to all three of you. For all of us here at the Midwest F1 League, thank you for watching. Next week we head to Imola for the league's debut on that track, and hopefully that one's going to be just as good as today. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.